Do you ever feel like you give and end up empty? That your love runs so deep it begins to feel like a wound rather than a blessing? If you've ever found yourself questioning whether your deep care is your greatest strength or your silent suffering, then this message is for you. Because today we're going to unravel the quiet pain of loving too deeply and transform it into power. This is not about changing who you are. It's about finally understanding why you feel the way you do and how to love from a place that doesn't leave you broken. When you find yourself loving too deeply, it's often not just a part of your personality. It's a reflection of a pain you've carried for a long time. There's usually a quiet ache that lives beneath the surface, a feeling of once not being enough, of being overlooked, of having to prove that your presence mattered. And so, love became your language. You learned to express your worth through how much you could give. You didn't just offer your time, you gave your soul. You didn't just care, you carried. And slowly, that became your identity. But deep down, this relentless giving often stems from a desire to heal something within yourself. Maybe no one showed up for you when you needed them most. Maybe you were taught to earn love through self-sacrifice. And now, even when your heart is exhausted, you keep pouring, hoping someone will see your value through your efforts. But your worth was never meant to be measured by how much you endure. You were always enough, even when you were still learning to love yourself. Sometimes we don't realize that we're not just craving love, we're craving purpose. We want to feel needed because it gives us a sense of being indispensable. There's a certain high in being the one people turn to, the one who holds everything together. But what happens when being needed becomes your only identity? What happens when you confuse obligation with love? You begin to feel afraid that if you're not fixing someone's problem, they'll no longer want you around. And so you stay giving, sacrificing, rescuing while slowly fading into the background of your own life. But love isn't meant to be a rescue mission. You weren't born to be someone's emotional lifeline. You were born to be cherished, to be met with the same intensity you give. Your love is not a service. It is a sacred part of you, and it deserves to be honored, not taken for granted. There is a quiet kind of pain that comes from loving so deeply while remaining unseen. You keep hoping that if you love harder, if you give more, if you keep showing up no matter how heavy your heart feels, maybe, just maybe, someone will finally notice your silent suffering. But they don't. They see the smile you wear, the strength you carry, the warmth you constantly radiate. They don't see the nights you cry alone, the moments you question your worth, or the way you silently break while trying to hold everyone else together. You believe that your love will somehow teach them to care the way you do. But love doesn't work like that. People don't read silence. They read behavior. And when your behavior tells them, "I'm fine," even when you're not, they believe it. You deserve to be heard without having to fall apart to get someone's attention. You deserve to express your needs without shame or fear of being too much. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the bridge that turns loneliness into connection. When you love too much, something dangerous begins to happen. You start to tolerate what you were never meant to accept. You begin to rationalize behaviors that hurt you, believing that if you just hold on a little longer, the love you give will transform the relationship. You make excuses, hoping for change, justifying the neglect, the inconsistency, the emotional distance, because you believe in their potential. But what about the reality? What about how you feel right now? Potential is a beautiful thing, but it should never come at the cost of your peace. Loving someone should not mean abandoning yourself. Every time you tolerate something that chips away at your self-respect, you teach your heart that it's okay to break as long as someone else is whole. But it's not okay. Love should never cost you your dignity. The deepest kind of love is the one that allows you to hold on to yourself, even while holding space for someone else. You can be soft and strong. You can care without sacrificing. And you can love without losing your soul in the process. Sometimes what we call compassion is actually fear wearing a mask. We say yes when we mean no. We go along with things that feel wrong. We put everyone's needs before our own and convince ourselves we're being kind. But if you look closer, it's not always kindness. It's a desperate attempt to avoid rejection, to feel safe, to be liked. You start to measure your value by how useful you are to others. You become so focused on pleasing that you forget who you are outside of people's expectations. And in doing so, you disappear. Slowly, silently, piece by piece. But being agreeable is not the same as being true. Being liked is not the same as being loved. Real compassion must begin with yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you are not here to live in the shadows of your own life just to make someone else feel more comfortable. Your voice matters. Your boundaries matter. Your joy matters. And the moment you stop apologizing for having needs is the moment you begin to breathe freely again. It's the moment your compassion becomes real, because now it includes you too. When you care deeply, you often believe it's your responsibility to carry other people's pain. You become the fixer, the one who holds everything together when others fall apart. You feel the weight of everyone else's chaos as if it were your own. But healing is not something you can do for someone else. You can walk beside them, but you cannot walk for them. And when you try, you end up exhausted, drained, and lost in battles that were never yours to fight. Love doesn't mean becoming someone's solution. Love means offering space, patience, and presence, not self-sacrifice. There's strength in knowing when to step back, in recognizing that your job is not to heal people but to honor your own peace. You can support someone and still protect your own energy. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. Let go of the need to fix what is broken in others. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is allow someone the space to grow on their own, while you grow too. There comes a point when you have to ask yourself, where did you go in all of this? In loving them, in caring for everyone else, in being the strong one, the dependable one, the selfless one. Where did you go? Because love, real love, is not supposed to erase you. It's not meant to silence your voice or make you question your worth. You were not born to shrink so others can feel tall. You weren't meant to suppress your dreams, your needs, your passions, just to keep peace in someone else's world. That's not love, that's self-abandonment. And the cost is far too high. You start forgetting what makes you happy. You lose touch with the fire that once lived inside you. You smile for the world, but inside, you ache with the loneliness of being unknown, even to yourself. But it's never too late to return, to rediscover, to reclaim. Loving someone doesn't mean losing your voice. You can love and still have boundaries. You can be devoted and still have direction. Love should lift you. It should make you more of who you are, not less. You've probably been told more times than you can count. You're too sensitive. You care too much. You feel too deeply. But what if that was never a flaw? What if that was your gift? This world needs the ones who feel deeply, who see beyond the surface, who love without hesitation. But even the most beautiful gift must be protected. Not everyone deserves the depths of your heart. Not everyone is capable of honoring the sacred way you love. You are not too much. You are not overreacting. You are not weak for feeling what others pretend not to. You are deep. You are brave enough to love in a world that often fears vulnerability. But now it's time to love yourself with that same intensity. Be just as loyal to your own heart as you are to others. Because when you finally start giving to yourself what you've so freely given away, your love no longer leaves you empty. It becomes your greatest source of strength, your anchor, your light. If this message touched something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Share your story. Share your reflections. Let's build a space where women who love deeply can also be deeply loved. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every word. If this resonated, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And tell me, what should we talk about next? What's on your heart? This is your space, your voice, your community. Let's grow together. Yellow Heart.